Hello, I'm Anthony Rader and welcome to Historical Times. In this short video, we are going to be talking about one of the most prominent figures of all time. Some of us call him Kris Kringle, Germans call him Weihnachtsmann, or Christmas Man, but we all know him as Santa Claus. There are actually two holidays that we celebrate to honor this man. The Western Europeans celebrated on December 6th, 2020. That day is known as St. Nicholas Day. So, who was good old Kris Kringle, or St. Nick? Thankfully, we do know who he was and what he was. But the real question is, how did St. Nick become Santa Claus? St. Nick was born around 280 AD. Unlike his persona that we adore today, he is actually not fat or jolly. Nick was a bishop during the Great Persecution, which is a time where they would actually burn Bibles, churches, and they would even execute priests. Since St. Nick was a bishop during these times, he was labeled as defiant because of his beliefs. Around 303 AD, St. Nick was incarcerated in what we call modern-day Turkey. He served in prison up until 313 AD, when Constantine ended the persecution of all Christians. St. Nick ended up dying on December 6th, around 343 AD. As a bishop, he was a holy man, which meant he was associated with blessings. It is believed that he is the protector of many different people, from orphans to sailors to prisoners. This is actually why when you look at movies, you will most likely see a depiction of St. Nick in their cell. It's actually been said that when he was a young man, he actually gave gold to these girls so they could actually pay off their father's debts, so they didn't have to turn to a livelihood of prostitution. And this actually made St. Nick back then a household name, and what would eventually become a magical gift giver to children. We actually know this story because of a book written by historian Jerry Blower. The book is called Santa Claus, a biography. So, the next story I want to tell you, I think it's a little bit far-fetched, but you guys can believe it if you want to. St. Nick entered an inn where he could actually sense that a crime had happened. As he entered the inn, he saw that the keeper actually murdered 3 boys and pickled their dismembered bodies. It is said that he actually resurrected the bodies. This made him a patron to children. Like I said, I don't necessarily believe this story because I think it's a bit far-fetched, but you guys can believe it if you want to. Alright, so for several hundred years, St. Nick was the unchallenged gift bringer to children. He would actually make sure that children were saying their prayers, they were being nice, and in return, they were gifted with presents. This is actually why when we sing, Santa Claus is coming to town, you better be good for goodness sake. But finally, around 1500, St. Nicholas Day actually fell out of favor in European countries. And they actually started celebrating Christmas on the 25th. During this time, they believed that Christ was given a scary helper to give out presents, but it actually fell out of favor pretty quickly. This scary helper was known as Krampus. And Krampus would actually beat and or kidnap naughty kids. In the Netherlands, they actually refused to give up on St. Nick. During the colonization of America, the Dutch brought along with them Santa Claus. But in New England, the colonists actually shunned the holiday. This, however, didn't stop the press on reporting about Santa Claus, which is actually believed to be a mistranslation in 1773. Finally, by the 19th century, thanks to a numerous amount of writers, they made Christmas a family celebration and revived St. Nick as the gift bringer. So that is the conclusion and the history of Santa Claus, to how we know him today. Did you know that Santa Claus came from Sinterklaas? Now, if you like this video and want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the like on this video. Alright, I'll see you on the next one, and remember, history always repeats itself.